Hello and welcome to Highway. Now this week we're in the most northerly parts of England, Berwick-upon-Tweed. Now being north of the river, you might reasonably think it should be in Scotland. And there have been times, many times, when you would have been right, because this place changed hands with Scotland no less than 14 times. Finally, in 1482, it became English. Because of its location, Berwick has had a unique and lively history, and is a town of great character. The people here take an immense pride in their heritage, and we see during the programme how they're going about preserving the best of its past for future generations to enjoy. Come with me and enjoy its peace and quiet and open air. Wherever you go in Berwick, you're surrounded by history. I'm standing on the site of the Great Hall of Berwick Castle, which was the meeting place for the nobility in the reign of King Edward I. As you can see, there certainly have been a few changes around here. Incredible as it might sound, the Victorian railway builders erected Berwick Station right in the middle of the castle, although the castle walls had already been pillaged long before the railway came to Berwick. The builders of the magnificent Ravenstown barracks also used the old castle as a quarry, and the face of many of its walls are rich with the stones of the castle. It was formerly the headquarters of the King's Own Scottish Borderers, and the last commanding officer was Colonel David Ward. Colonel, this was the first purpose-built barracks ever, isn't it?
That's right. Built in 1721 at the express wish of the local population. Well, you see, up until then, the soldiers were billeted in the pubs in the town.
Good.
And soldiers and pubs, you know, explosive business. Yes. So they said, we must have a barracks. And they finally got it. In 1721, the people of the town had to subscribe 320-odd quid to buy the beds and the pots for the soldiers to move in.
They were glad
Anything
to
to
do so.
get them out of it. And of course, when we left in '64, they practically wept.
Oh, it's a shame. But they've got 3 museums here, too, then?
Oh, yes, we have. My museum, or the KOSB museum, there's the English Heritage Display, which is, I think is brilliant. in the next block, and of course the Town Museum in the clock block, which contains part of the borough collection.
Tell us about the Elizabethan walls. I'd like to see those.
We're the last walled town, properly walled town in Europe. The first wall here was Edward III, then Queen Elizabeth I built the first wall, proper wall, according to the Italian principle of defense against siege cannon. And she spent as much on these walls in real terms as Margaret Thatcher is going to spend on her Trident missile. The idea was that this town, if it was held strongly, the Scots and any of their allies, such as the French, couldn't invade England between here and Hawick. So that forced everybody to go around via Carlisle, as indeed it did with Bonnie Prince Charlie in 45.
This was obviously the equivalent of the nuclear deterrent today.
Exactly what it was, yeah. And the same thing, the same result. Nothing ever used. Thank goodness.
So nobody planted the stones for anything else?
No. Nobody took anything away, nobody blew anything up. Oh, lovely. It's a marvellous place.
Preserving Old Berwick has been no easy task. A group of townspeople formed a preservation trust in the 1970s to restore any run-down buildings which were thought worth keeping. Relics of past trading activities, such as the old quayside granaries, the custom house, and other buildings on the quay walls, have been renovated to their former glory, forming new dwellings, office accommodation, and craft workshops. The splendid Lions House and other such residences now enhance the look and character of the town. In addition, to the town's credit, much modern building has been compatible with the style of the old. I think one of the most interesting buildings architecturally is the parish church of the Holy Trinity. It's one of only 2 churches built during the Commonwealth, and as you can see, it has neither tower nor spire. Many people say it was because Oliver Cromwell disliked bells. It looks rather plain from here, but it's beautiful inside. So let's go and meet the choristers. We're going to sing for us Charles Wood's lovely anthem, O Thou, the Central Orb. like you to meet Canon Alistair Elcote. Now, Canon, you're the Vicar of Tweedmouth.
Yes.
You're the Rural Dean of Norham, which includes Holy Island, doesn't it?
Holy Island, indeed, yes.
And you're a Queen's Chaplain.
I'm afraid so, yes.
So you're the man to tell us about the Christian heritage of Berwick.
Yes. The other side of the river, because the Tweed is quite a division, in a sense, or was, has an entirely separate history from the south side. Until the Reformation, there were 4 churches in Berwick after the Restoration in 1660. Then a multiplicity of Presbyterian churches grew up. And then, till the turn of the century, I'm afraid there was quite a bit of rivalry.
Because John Wesley came in, didn't he, at one time?
Indeed he did, yes, yes.
And so did John Knox.
John Knox preached in the former Holy Trinity Parish Church, yes, indeed.
So there's a great Christian tradition here
indeed,
in Berwick,
yes,
isn't it, in
tremendous,
this area?
tremendous. Indeed. The position today, of course, is that we have a very warm family spirit, really, with what's called the Berwick Council of Churches.
Yes.
And then just over a year ago, we had a great day when our own Bishop of Newcastle, Bishop Alec Graham, came up for a day with the Roman Catholic Bishop, with the moderator of the Presbyterian URC, and the Salvation Army leader, and so on, and the President of the Methodist Circuit for Northumberland, and they were here a whole day, sort of blazing the trail as to what was possible in future unity together.
And of course, at the church, is it Lowick Church, which is shared by...
Lowick, just yes, a few miles out of Berwick in the country. Now, because the Roman Catholic Church, for various reasons, as a building had to close, the Roman Catholic congregation have their Mass in the Anglican Church after the...
So it's a shared church?
Shared church, indeed, yes, yes, which is a great step forward and works very, very, very happily.
And now it's my great pleasure to introduce a young soprano who's been singing with the Scottish Opera for the last 2 years. Her name is Emma Scotchup, and she's going to sing for us Handel's Come, Ever Smiling Liberty.
Come, ever
We've been seeing how the people of Berwick are anxious to preserve their heritage. And one man who's followed this progress during a long life is Berwick's best-known living painter, Fred Stott. Fred, you started painting 25 years ago when you retired, didn't you?
Yes, that's true.
This is a result.
Some of the better results.
But it's a tremendous achievement, I mean, to do all this. Well, what's your favourite scene?
Oh, this is a favourite scene because the people ask me for this more than anything else. It's the estuary.
Yes.
With Berwick in the background.
What do you find so special about Berwick?
I feel that it's an unusual town. I think it's one of the stars of Northumberland. It's a warm-coloured, warm.
Yeah.
The houses are warm. People are warm too.
How do you get that quality of light?
Well, the picture is done in large washes, and we do the sky and the river all together. And then after these are all dry, we add the town. Paint the town on top.
Well, it's very effective, isn't it?
Well, it seems to work. And this, with the different shades, according to the different time of day.
Now, you were telling me earlier on that you charge so much for seagull. Is that right?
Well, everybody asks for a train on the bridge.
Yes.
So we say, well, if it's going to Scotland, it's free. But if it's come to England, there's a surcharge. Sparrows are a penny each, but you get 6 for 5 pence. And this is the trouble here. This salmon net. If I pull the net in and there's a salmon in it, I'll be charged with poaching.
Of course. In Berwick today, you still have the feeling of being in a frontier town. In the offices and shops, you're as likely to hear Lowland Scots spoken as often as Northumbrian. The English football team, Berwick Rangers, actually plays in the Scottish League. Berwick is a forward-looking and progressive town. There are modern trading estates on both sides of the river. The natural harbour formed by the mouth of the River Tweed means a flourishing seaborne trade. Berwick's most prominent edifice must surely be the Town Hall, its handsome tower dominating the buildings which cluster around it. We're going into the stately Guild Hall here to meet the combined choirs of Berwick High and Middle Schools with the Tweedmouth Middle School Choir. They're going to sing O Worship the King. there's no doubt that the religious life of Berwick-upon-Tweed has been enriched by the growth in recent years of the Northumbria Bible College. Here, around 100 Christian students from all over the world come together for 3-year courses. And they also take an active part in local church life. I'm in the common room of the college, and with me, in order, are Beat and Martina Foster from Switzerland, John Adamu from Nigeria, the principal, the Reverend Frank Snow, and Sandra Shields from Northern Ireland. We'll start with you, Frank, because you're the principal. How many students do you have, and where do they come from?
We've about 100 at the moment, and they come from about 15 different nationalities altogether.
So what is the aim of the college?
Well, we're a missionary college, and we're preparing people to communicate their faith across cultural barriers or against all the problems that there will be of living in another country or in a different place.
So, Beat and Martina, what I find interesting is you just returned from Romania. Do you find that Christianity was still flourishing after all the years of repression?
If we look at Christianity in Britain, then I would say there is much more over there than here.
Really?
Yeah.
You agree with that, Martina?
Oh yes, we met a lot of Christians. We visited mainly Christians, and there are really big churches there.
Are there?
Mainly, we have to say that the church doesn't play such a big role. It's much more the faith in general.
So what do you think you'll take away from here when you go? What have you learned?
I mean, what we take away is basically the biblical study. And I believe there's no day where we don't take something out of it.
We hope to bring the good news to people who have no access to a church or have no church in their area.
Sandra, you're from Northern Ireland. You've been working with an inner-city church in Newcastle, is that right?
Yes, I find it really challenging because I really believe that there is a lot of need in our inner cities today. And there's so much problems, with young people, drug abuse, homelessness.
So what do you hope to do when you leave here?
Well, I'm going to work with Prida Street Mission for at least 1 year. I really feel that here has just opened up my mind to the problems in the inner cities, and I really care about the people there, and I really want to tell them about the Lord and share my faith with them.
John, you're from Nigeria. What's the difference between the church service, for example, in Nigeria and the church service here?
The first thing is that the message of Christ is still the same everywhere.
Yes.
And therefore, I would say the first biggest difference is the cultural differences between this country in the West and also Nigeria particularly. I think that is the main difference, I would say.
What have you learned since you've been here?
The benefit which I receive spiritually on my own side, and also the important of all is how to be able to relate to other people when I go back in different society, which indeed I have learned in this place. And I find that very, very helpful indeed.
I think this is one of the thrilling things about the work, of seeing people come sometimes with a certain glint in their eye. They're feeling God's saying something to them about their future, but then seeing that develop into a full-blown conviction of what they want to do and getting up and going and doing it. And seeing what God can do. I think the great changes that God can make in people's lives when they will open their lives to Him.
All in all, you feel in Berwick an air of reverence for the past, as well as care for the present and future, reflected in the peace of this hymn, Dear Lord and Father of Mankind. Dear Lord and Father of mankind, forgive our foolish ways. Reclothe us in our rightful mind, in pure lives thy service find, in deeper reverence praise, in deeper reverence praise. Well, that's all from Berwick-upon-Tweed. Next week, we stay by the water by the River Aire in Leeds. I'll see you then.